Hi, hello. I dyed my hair, so if you see my hair swapping from orange to blonde throughout the course of this video, no you didn't. In my previous video, I made a super slouchy, cozy sweater, and this is part 2 to that video because I am making a balaclava sweater, which is basically a bodysuit, but for your top half. But you get the vibe. We're making a balaclava today. Anyway, it's time to get on with the video, so let's make a balaclava for my balaclava sweater. Alright, so here's the ingredients for the pattern. I used a 5.5mm hook and a 4.5mm hook for the trim. I used a size 4 yarn, and I used a green yarn and then a white yarn for the trim. And if you're a darning needle girly, then break out your darning needle for all those pesky little ends. Oh, and a stitch marker. A stitch marker is very importante. So I'm making a magic circle, so you know I just loop-de-loop and pull, and my shoes are looking good. Then I'll chain 3 to get everything started. The chain 3 does count as a double crochet, so I'll double crochet 7 more times into the magic circle for a total of 8 double crochets to start. Then I'll double crochet in that starting chain 3. Then I'll pull on the tail of my magic ring and bring everything together. Then I need to get out my handy dandy stitch marker and put my stitch marker right in that double crochet that I just made. So I'm working in a continuous circle because that's how I like doing things, and the stitch marker is an indicator of where each row starts and ends. Moving your stitch marker up with each row is very, very important. So for row 2, I'm putting 2 double crochets in every single stitch. 2 double crochets in one stitch is called an increase. So I'm increasing in every single stitch. So for row 3, I'm increasing every other stitch. So I'll increase with the 2 double crochet and then 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet. Don't forget to move your stitch marker, okay? For row 4, I'm doing 2 double crochets and then my increase. 2 double crochets and then the increase. And you can start each row on an increase or not. You know, it's really however you feel, however you like doing things. And also, if the rows and the math doesn't wind up lining up perfectly, it's not the end of the world. It's not really a big deal for this pattern. So for row 5, I'm doing 3 double crochets and then my increase. 3 double crochets and then my increase. And I'm just gonna keep repeating this little pattern that I have going on. So I'll just throw up a little visual for you to pause on. For row 6, I'm doing 4 double crochets and then an increase. Row 7, 5 double crochets and then an increase. Row 8, 6 double crochets, then my increase. Row 9, 7 double crochets, then my increase. Row 10, 8 double crochets, then an increase. Row 11, 9 double crochets, and then an increase. And for row 12, it's 10 double crochets, and that kind of wraps up the circle for the top of the balaclava. Okay, so here's what we've got going on so far. I wanted to make sure that I leave a little bit of space for the trim that's going to go around my face. Also, if you have a smaller forehead to eyebrow ratio, you're probably going to want to make this a little bit smaller than what I did. I did about 11 rows. So I left my stitch marker that I already had in use, so that way I don't have to cut and reattach my yarn. And then I just slid it over to my temple. And then on this side, I put another stitch marker over by my temple as well. And this will be our indicators of where we're going to start and stop crocheting. So that way we can make this portion. I don't know what the technical term is called. So that way we can make the back of the balaclava and leave our face open and beautiful and shining and perfect. Okay, let's go. So when I get to my stitch marker, I'm going to chain 1 and then turn my work, which I have not been turning my work this entire time, but for this I'm going to. Then I'm going to start double crocheting until I get to the next stitch marker, and then I'll chain 1, turn my work, and I'll crochet for about 9 rows. But make sure you try this on and make sure it fits your head, because my head and your head are probably different sizes. So now that I have this samurai helmet looking shape going on, it's time to connect both sides together to close in the face. So what I did is I just counted how far apart my stitch markers on the top were, and that's how many chains I made. So in total I chained 20. If you want a tighter fit, just chain less. If you want a looser fit, chain more. Mine came out to be a little oversized, but that's what I was going for. So then after I've chained 20, I'm just going to attach my yarn on the other side with a double crochet. Okay. I look like a ninja turtle. Okay, so I'm just trying this on so I can get the gist of how much I need to crochet to connect the two pieces together. And then, like, I've seen a lot of people do, like, a tight neck on their balaclavas, but, like, I feel like that would make me claustrophobic. So we're gonna do kind of a loosey-goosey balaclava. So I think I'm just gonna keep crocheting straight down for a couple more rows. And I'll try it on again and we'll feel it out. We're gonna feel it out. And I wound up double crocheting in the round for about 6 rows. So now it's time to fasten off and start the trim. So for the trim, I'm switching to my white yarn and I'm using a 4.5 millimeter hook. So first I attached my yarn and then I single crocheted all around the little face circle. Chain 5, and then I single crocheted down those chains. Then I'm going to slip stitch twice into the single crochets that I had made previously, and I'm going to turn my work and skip over both of those slip stitches. Then I'm going to back loop only, single crochet up the row, chain 1, back loop only, single crochet down the row, slip stitch twice into those single crochets, turn my work, skip over the single crochets, and back loop only, single crochet up the row. And I'm going to repeat that until I'm all the way back at the beginning, and then I just seamed the two ends together. When I'm done with the trim, I turn my balaclava and my sweater inside out and I just slip stitch them together. At this point, the project was just getting so big, it was kind of hard to film, so my bad. But I did luck out because for the sweater, I chained 78 for the opening, and I wound up ending the balaclava with about 76 stitches, so seaming was super easy. I didn't have like a huge discrepancy. Anyway, here's the final look. Okay, it's time for my final thoughts on this piece. I think the balaclava adds such a super cozy like addition to this sweater. It's like, I don't know, it's just like maximum coziness, and like I'm really living for it. I've made literally like so many balaclavas, but I love this. It's like super slouchy and it kind of just like a fitted hood almost. Like when you have it down, it just looks like a little hood, a little neck warmer. If you haven't made the sweater, go back to part 1 and make the sweater, because the sweater is like ultimate slouchy, cozy girl energy. Like that's what we're doing. I like 2023 is like the year of like being as cozy and comfortable as possible. Like I'm sick and tired of like being uncomfortable for like fashion, you know? Anyway, on that note, I'm gonna go. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow me on the gram. I gotta go. I have chickens to feed, I have alpacas to take care of, I'm a busy woman. Just kidding, I'm probably gonna drink wine and watch The Real Housewives. Okay, bye.